Elite level skills are perhaps some of the most coveted achievements that one can acquire in Escape from Tarkov. It's really no wonder why people spend hours upon hours training these skills. With elite level endurance, one can run further, recover stamina faster, hold your guns and breath longer, and, in the right scenario, combined with elite level strength, you can flank people and catch entire squads off guard. Even though there is a plethora of videos out there explaining how these skills are acquired, I have yet to see a deep dive into the topic. For example, how many points can you earn per raid? Are these points guaranteed? What's the fastest way to get there? How much do stims and air filters help, if at all? And perhaps the most important question here, how long does it take? These are the questions that I will attempt to answer in this video. I have spent around 20 to 30 hours testing this out with different variables, and I'd like to believe that I have a pretty good grasp of this by now. Of course, there will be variables and scenarios that I didn't account for. So, if you can think of any of these, I'd encourage you to drop these in the comment section. It would greatly help me improve my methodology, and I'd be able to bring you guys the most accurate information possible. Now, having that said, let's begin. Our first run was done with a level 1 character. I am using my second account for this. It is a level 1 with all skills at level 1 as well. I found out some useful information that I didn't know before. For example, to get from level 1 to level 2, it requires 20 skill points. From 2 to 3, it requires 30. From 3 to 4, it requires 40, so on and so forth up until level 10. Now, this means that to get from level 1 to level 10, a total of 540 skill points are required. The first run that we did was done from construction to tunnel. We were able to extract in 6 minutes and 11 seconds. We acquired 7.5 skill points. This was done with no stims, no hideout. Now, for the sake of the viewer, I'm going to speed up all of these videos. That way you don't have to watch me run from one side of the map all the way to the other. And hopefully we can keep this video under 20 minutes. Funny story, I recorded this video once already. I spent about 6 hours on it, and all of a sudden my application crashed. So guess what? I lost all my work. Now, note to self, save the project every hour. But anyways, let's get to it. The following run was done from Svetli Village to Road to Customs. We were able to extract in 6 minutes and 50 seconds. We acquired 7.7 skill points, no stims, no hideout, and this run was really just to show you guys that the points that you get are very similar at level 1, and the biggest difference here is that we traveled just a little further than the first run. Now, the next run that I did was done on my main account. It is a level 45 character, level 46 endurance, and this run was from construction to tunnel. We extracted in 5 minutes and 16 seconds. We acquired 11.4 endurance points, no stim, hideout off. Now, coming up, we have a run from roughly the Road to Customs area to Tunnel. This run was done in 7 minutes and 5 seconds. We gained 11.9 points, and we actually used an SJ6 for this one. Hideout off. Coming up, we have a run from Path to Lighthouse to Road to Customs. We extracted in 5 minutes and 4 seconds. We acquired 11.9 skill points. We used an SJ6 hideout on with 3 PF100 filters installed. The next run caught me a little off guard. I had always been told that in order to get to max level skills, you needed to take advantage of the boost that you get at the beginning of a raid. What I mean by that is, when you start a raid, you're going to see a blue triangle next to the corresponding skill. That means that you're getting a pretty big boost. If you see a red triangle, you still might be getting the boost, but it'll be less than what it would be if it was the blue triangle. Now, there is a way to kind of get around this. You have to wait, I believe it's 3 to 5 minutes without really doing anything or without working that skill, at which point it'll reset and you will be able to acquire points at the normal pace. Now, what I did on this run is I intentionally got rid of that boost. And I did that by doing short sprints and then walking, doing more short sprints and then running into bushes until I saw the red triangle. Once I saw the red triangle, I proceeded my run normally, right? This run was from Svetoli Village to Road to Customs. We acquired 11.8 points. We extracted in 5 minutes and 23 seconds. No stims, hideout off, no boost. Okay, so now that we have the data, let's see what we can come up with. So, based on what I found, to get from level 1 to level 10, you require 440 skill points. If we divide 440 skill points by 7.5, which would be the average amount of points that you're able to get at that level, we come up with 58.6, meaning that it would require 58.6 raids in order for you to get from level 1 to level 10. Now, if we multiply 58.6 times 6, which would be about the average time that it would take for you to go from one point to the other on shoreline, we come up with 352. That means that it would require 352 minutes of in-raid time for you to get from level 1 to level 10. Now, if we divide 352 by 60, which is the amount of minutes in an hour, we come up with 5.86. So what does this mean? This means that it would require you to spend 5.86 hours to be able to get from level 1 to level 10. Now, this is the easy part. Okay, you are now level 10. You are ready to start earning those big points. So, In order to get from level 10 to level 51, it would require an additional 4,100 skill points. That's 4,100 skill points. So let's divide that by 11.5, which is the average amount of points that you'd be able to get. And once we do that, we come up with 356.5, meaning that it would require 356 and a half raids for you to get from level 10 to level 51. If we multiply that by 6, which is the average amount of the average amount of time that it would take to extract from Shoreline, we come up with 2,139. What does that mean? That means that it requires 2,139 minutes of in-game time for you to reach level 51 from level 10. If we divide that by 60, which is the amount of minutes in an hour, we come up with 35.6. So, all in all, altogether, it requires 35 and a half hours for you to go from level 10 to level 51. Yeah, quite the grind. Now, a couple things to note here. The SJ6 will bring down, on average, the amount of time that it takes for you to extract from Shoreline by about a minute and a half. If you were to buy one SJ6 for each of those 356 raids, you're looking at roughly 18 million rubles. And that's if you can find them at about 50,000 rubles a pop. It's kind of a lot of money. And in reality, it really doesn't help. It doesn't give you any extra points. The only thing that it's helping with, I should say, is with the amount of time that you're spending in raid. Now, that's something that I had always heard. If you pop an SJ6, you're able to get to max level skills a hell of a lot quicker than if you don't. And it's kind of true. I mean, every minute counts, right? When you look at the big picture here. But it's up to you to really make that decision. You know, whether 18 million is worth being able to get there. I don't know. Perhaps, let's say, if we're being generous, 7 hours quicker. Now, let's talk about the PF100 filter. So the filters, we know for a fact that they're not working right now. About a week ago, I was watching the podcast, which is with Veritas and Jessica Zam. And Jesse had mentioned that a streamer whose name escapes me, and I'm sorry about that, that they had done some testing. And through that testing, they were able to figure out that the filters were actually turned off. Or maybe not turned off, but just weren't working right. Now, take this with a grain of salt. Of course, me having 28 subscribers on YouTube and 100 followers on Twitch, I mean, you know, I don't exactly have a direct pipeline to anyone at BSG. I don't have a direct pipeline to Nikita or any YouTubers that could have contact with them for that matter. So, what I'm saying here is pure conjecture. It is purely my opinion. But I would gamble to say that it's an informed opinion based on the testing that I've done. So when I do the math with the PF100 filter, let's say that you had a hideout management level of nothing, right? So you're getting the base 40% increase in physical skills. That, if we add that to the amount of points that we're getting, to the 11.5, we'd be looking at about 16.1 points. So you would be looking at an additional like 4.5 points, 4.6 points, something like that. Now, if we were to do the math on that, it would reduce the amount of time that we would have to spend in raid by about 10 hours. So we'd be looking at about 25 hours to get from level 10 to level 51. In my mind, and based on the trend that we've been seeing through these wipes, you know how they've been trying to extend the early gameplay, they've been trying to, basically to extend the early gameplay as much as possible. I believe that would be unacceptable for CIG. A lot of times I feel like we get carried away by what streamers are able to accomplish, even though they're a very small portion of the player base of Tarkov. They are definitely the most visible. So I think perception plays a big role here. If streamers were able to achieve elite level skills in the first week, in the first 2 weeks of the wipe by using methods like this, I feel like it would really put out the wrong idea that it's really easy to get these skills. And I am certain, I am absolutely certain that Battle State Games has this data, right? Because how could they not? I'm pretty sure that they have data on everything, on exactly how many players have reached max level strength, max level endurance, health, perception, whatever it might be. But another thing is that I think they're worried about perception. Every time that something like this happens, the community goes fucking wild, and all of a sudden, you know, they start making changes based on what the community is crying about. And sorry to put it that way, but I mean that's exactly what it is in my opinion. It's crying, it's whining. So I think I strongly believe that the filters being turned off at the moment was something that is done on purpose, and I don't think it's going to be fixed anytime soon unless they rework the entire system and they figure out a way to stretch it out while using the filters. So perhaps instead of being able to earn 11.5 points, they'll bring it down to like 8. And with the filters turned on, maybe we'll be able to get like 12, something like that. It's something that I definitely see them doing. But again, this is just my opinion. So take it with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, I have absolutely no idea whether that is the case or not. So yeah, that's my piece about the filters. The SJ6s, as we figured out, work. They don't work at all. The boost, as we figured out, doesn't really work at all. I was able to get 11.9 points, but only because it was a pretty long distance that I had to travel. So you got to take that into account. These physical skills are based on distance traveled and nothing else. Nothing else helps other than reducing the amount of time that you get to spend in raid. So I think that's it, honestly. I'm pretty burnt out. I'm about ready to call it a day. I've been at this for about 10 hours straight, no breaks, nothing. I don't think I've even eaten. I think I had lunch at work earlier and I completely forgot to eat while I was recording all of this. But anyways, guys, well, if you guys have any comments, anything you want to say, make sure to drop it down there. If you guys have any ways to improve the way that I do these tests, definitely drop it down there. I want to be able to provide you guys the most accurate information possible. I definitely want to make more videos like this in the future. So any information that would help me improve my methodology would greatly be appreciated. If you guys like the video, please make sure to give me a like. If you guys want to see more content like this, which I will be putting out, make sure to subscribe, hit that little bell. And I really hope that I earned your subscription today. It was the first video that I've done like this, and man, it was work. It was a lot of work, honestly. I work in construction for a living, and I feel like this was a hell of a lot more tiring than the job that I do, you know. Also, I want to point out that I don't expect everybody to be willing to do this. I understand that it takes a lot of dedication, it takes a lot of discipline. And when I started leveling up my endurance, I was at level 29. It took me maybe about a week and a half to be able to get endurance and strength and health to elite levels. I mean, honestly, I was only able to bear it because I went through like maybe 6 different shows with a few seasons, right? So I basically just watched a lot of movies, watched a lot of shows, and I ended up, just being able to bear it that way. But yeah, like I said, I don't expect everybody to do this. I mean, maybe there's a way that you can work it into the way that you play. One idea that I kind of had was maybe if you're playing with friends and you end up dying and you're waiting for your friends to get out, I'm pretty sure you could sneak in like 2 or 3 of these raids, and that would be a great way to boost these skills. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm just completely burnt out right now, so I really can't think about that. If I end up coming up with any ideas on how to integrate this into a regular session, then perhaps I'll make another video on it and I'll let you guys know. I'll share those ideas with you and see what you guys think. But anyways, thank you so much if you made it this far. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. To my community that follows me on Twitch, that's there every time I stream. Fucking love you guys. You guys are the best, man. Every time I see you guys on there, we have a great time, and well, I can't wait to do it again. Keep doing it. Anyways, I don't know what I'm rambling about. Well, everybody have a good day. Good luck on your raids, and I'll see you guys later.